Let's talk about SnapDocs. Let's talk about how you get new clients. Let's talk about how you keep new clients. Yeah, the whole SnapDocs, I got a message the other day saying that notaries are upset at SnapDocs and that there was a new company coming into play, which there's several companies coming into play in the same ballpark as SnapDocs, which is it's an order management system. Did you get that? SnapDocs is an order management system. You go back to the websites just a few years ago, maybe 8 to 10 years ago, those websites like Notary 123, those were not order management systems. They were notary registries. You would go on, you'd find a notary, you'd get a phone number, and you'd call or email the notary. It's kind of the era I was raised in as a new notary. Lots of phone calls, very few text messages. Can you imagine that? Your phone ringing? I'll tell you what the problem was when the phone was ringing, is that you had to answer it. You had to take calls, pick up the phone while you were in the middle of a signing, while you were trying to complete your docs, while you were trying to package, while you're trying to print, while you're trying to reply to emails. You had to pick up the phone and talk. And that was challenging because you had to take every call. Hey, how are you? Yes, I can. Go ahead. Do you have the details? Can I get the address? How about the phone number? Can you repeat it one more time? Oh my goodness, these phone calls would take minutes. 5-10 minutes. Then they put you on hold. So it's interesting that now we complain about text messages. We think that companies like SnapDocs are hurting the industry. They're hurting notaries. No work comes to me. It's not necessarily SnapDocs' fault. Because even when I was taking phone calls, they still had the same list of the notaries that they preferred to use. I'm talking about the signing agencies, right? They still had a list. And that list, they would still go to the top 5, top 6, top 7, top 10 notaries, depending on how busy it was, depending on what type of job it was, depending on what type of fee they wanted to pay. So I took all the phone calls. And what's the fee? How much are you paying? How much are you offering? Can you do a little more? Can you give me an extra 10 on that? Can you pay me a little extra for fax back, scan backs, for dropping off docs? There's a lot of negotiating, a lot of compromise, a lot of figuring out what the heck was going on with all these jobs as I was trying to build my business. A lot of hanging up the phone, frustrated. What did I say? I was stressed out. I didn't mean that. Will they give me another chance? Worried that maybe I put a wrench in my own business. Maybe that company won't call me no more. Maybe that company doesn't like me anymore. There were many times I had to reach back out. There were a couple times I had to reach back out and say sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean that. I was just under stress. That was one call I made. Very seriously, I called back. I said, I'm really sorry for acting that way. I got a lot going on. I'm stressed out. It's end of month. I got a lot of appointments, traffic. I'm sorry. I'll fix it. I'll do it. I'll take care of it. And to be honest with you, that was probably one of the only phone calls I had ever made to that extreme, I guess you would say, to where I literally just kind of blew it, didn't know how to handle it. And I called back to explain, I'm sorry, I didn't know how to handle that. And you know what? The gal that took that call, she accepted the apology. We still went forward with the deal and they continued to use me. But I want to get back to SnapDocs. See, I think one of the bigger problems is notaries trying to go about either raising the fee or disagreeing with the fee the wrong way. They're trying to do it through that text. They're trying to do it through declining, through counter offering. When you decline and say, I'm not available, pay too low, and then you put your fee, and your fee's like $50 or $100 higher for whatever reason. I know there's probably 30 reasons a notary will reply to a signing and double the fee. So you want to pay 60? I want 125. Oh, you want to pay 90? I'm asking 200. It's kind of that same thing. Could be a notary trying to make a statement, trying to say, I'm going to show you I don't need your money. This is what I get paid. Text message doesn't do anything. There's no negotiation there. A signing agency gets to look at it and just simply disagree. And they simply get to, I got to show you guys something. You guys got to see this tree. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Sorry. I'll try not to lose my train of thought, but that is just a beautiful bloomed tree with pink flowers. That's not the way you take a stance. You want to figure out how to get engaged with that signing company, especially if they're offering a reasonable fee. And again, I know, there's a lot of notaries. I don't work for less than 100. I worked for less than 100, but I got to tell you, I was taking 8 to 10 jobs a day. I was filling my day. That's what my job was to fill my day. There's notaries out there working part-time. There's notaries out there that just want to do a couple jobs a day, that don't want to work so hard. They say, I'd rather do 4 locally than do 8 to 10. Maybe they have kids, maybe they have another income, maybe they have a schedule they got to stick to. I was full-time. I was fully committed. Sun up to shutdown. I almost said sun up to shutdown, or to sundown. I didn't care when the sun came down. I was working. There's a difference. There's a big difference when you're trying to supplement some income or when you're trying to make a living. So there are a lot of reasons. I told you there's about 30 reasons a notary replies and says, screw your fee. And says, this is my statement. This is who I am. So, like I said, depends on why you make the statement. But I'll tell you a little secret about how I ended up filling my book each day, getting my phone to ring each day. Every day, phone wouldn't stop ringing. I would literally just know it was going to ring, and I just take work. Yes, I'll be there. I'm on the way home. I'm going to ship. I'm going to drop. I'm filling. Just chaos. That's why when I see the hype of the 6-figure earner, I sit back and go, 6-figure earner. I wonder if everybody knows what type of work that takes. And then, oh no, Steve, if you make 200 a signing, unless you're gonna sit there and work for some title company that's banging out work all day, all right? That just means that they can kick off work to you. Right now we're in a market where title officers, escrow officers, they want to do their own work. They want to do their own work and take that fee for themselves. It's up until they get too busy and cannot do the signing is when they start to take on outsourced notaries. Almost tripped. But that's when it comes to you. So for anybody to think that they can literally hook up some pipeline to sit there and make, I don't know, the fee 150, I know it doesn't impress anybody, but even if you sat there and worked for 150 a signing, California 150 doesn't really exist. Signings are 200, 250. It's for good reason, but like I said, that's you got escrow and title companies looking to hold on to that fee when it's not that busy the way it has been. I gotta show you this again right now. I got something else to show you. Look at this wall of jasmine. You imagine what this smells like? There's a bigger wall. Look, keeps going. This is a wall of oh my goodness. That's amazing. I wish I could take a selfie of that. Just for me. Reminds me of my grandfather. He loved jasmine. Going back to working for title and escrow companies, It's not possible. You have to have some deep connection with somebody. Deep. If you see somebody just working at escrow and title offices, oh, 6-figure earner, man, you gotta think there's something behind that. You gotta think that person has some type of connection that, quite frankly, they're not willing to share. They're not willing to give you the details and say, this is how, right? I'll tell you what's a big secret to some of these people making money is their ex-escrow or title officers, their ex-escrow or title assistants. They became a notary. They have a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, a good friend that owes them. And then they're able to take the work out of their office. They never tell you that secret. They just try to sell you something and tell you, hey, you can do it too, but they don't tell you the big secret. Say, I got an in. Of course, they'll tell you, you have to go find your in. I get it. I found my in. I was a 6-figure earner. Still am. Company's well into 6 figures. But there's always more. There's always more to the details. That's what I try to share on the Mobile Notary Network. It's easy to go sign, go get papers, go get work, go work for $200. Don't believe it. Don't buy it. I did it. You don't think I'd be selling you that? Here's what it means to me to sell you that. I would have to sell you something that you can go do right now. So what happens is if I convince you that you can go do that right now and you don't do it, my credibility's on the line. I'm not willing to risk that. There are people willing to risk their credibility. They say, I need money now. Oh my goodness, I've never built my business on I need money now. You can look at the pace of notary professionals. You can look at the pace of Mobile Notary Network. You can look at the pace of everything that I put up. You can look at the pace of the Mobile Notary Masterclasses. They're paced out with quality, with care. Number one is care, right? People want to see money and flash and promises and opportunities. I'll show it to you, but I can't give it to you. So I'm not going to show you what I can't give you. If people struggle with my courses, I've never had one refund. I've never had any negative comments come back. Anywhere of anything I've said. I'm putting out the truth. My truth. It's my truth. It's all I got. I know sometimes people say, well, Steve, you're not always right. There's a few things I disagree with. I just don't say anything about it. Well, I respect that. I'm just trying to explain to you that I'm not putting anything out there that's going to affect my trust, my integrity, my loyalty to you. I told you. I care about you guys. But that's up to you to see it. That's up to you to look at something else and say, is that picture? Is that Instagram? Is that YouTube video? Is this process? Is this seminar? Is this webinar? Is this process? Is this marketing, social media? Is this gonna work? Everybody's promising now. I don't promise now. If you look at everything I post, I try my best to share with you how to build a business. I share with you as a mentor. See, a mentor continues to feed bits and pieces. A mentor knows. You know what a mentor knows? Doesn't happen overnight. Oh, you want what I got? Oh, you want to be full-time? You want to be a master? You want to run $1 million company? Master sits back and says, I can't give that to you overnight. I can't promise it to you. I don't know if you got the commitment, if you got the will, if you got the schedule, if you got the lifestyle, the background. I got a background, a deep one. So, if right there you sit back and say, oh, see, he's got a background, he don't share it. I'm sharing it. I don't got a background in title. I don't got a background in escrow. I don't got a background in real estate. That background I don't got. I have a deep background in commitment, a deep background in practice, a deep background in commitment, in will, in process, in progress. I've started several times, many times, at the very bottom. At the very bottom. I've started the impossible. The impossible. Some of my videos, I talk about it. I've started the impossible. And I've turned it into something great. So I can't teach it. I can't take all that and teach it to you as if you can get it in 10 minutes, as if you can get it in half the time. I think the information I share can fast track you and say, oh, I got it. Oh, this makes sense. Oh, as I go, it's starting to come together. Any one of my videos, any one of my posts, if it doesn't make sense to you, doesn't mean it's not going to make sense to you. If you watch the Mobile Notary Masterclass, if you watch the 20-minute signing, you might be able to relate to it, but as you work, all that information is going to start to plug in. It's going to start to plug in at the signing table. Say, oh, this is what he was talking about. I did it. It worked. He's right. I get it. Next time. Then you take that information and you keep adding it to your repertoire, right? To your process. You start to improve with it. It's kind of when you go to a business seminar or you watch a video or a course or you learn something. You're learning it in advance. But you still have to go into the field. You still have to go through experience and apply it. All the information on Notary Professionals, all the information on the Mobile Notary Network, it's for you to take with you in your pocket and use it when necessary. It's for you to go into a signing and say, I'm going to try it. Let's see if he's right. It's for you to think about deeper. For you to take notes on. It's you to say, huh, interesting. Sounds pretty good. I'd love to try that. So you try it. I'd love to just help you think a little different. I'll tell you something very critical before I sign off here. I don't mean to go too long, but sometimes I just gotta go. I just gotta go on these thoughts because they all go together. That's part of the masterclass. That's why it's not in bullet point. I can't teach you in bullet point because my business has never been built in bullet point, in order. And I know you say, well, Steve, you should separate it. You should put it back together. You should give it to people in bits that make sense. These are the bits that make sense. I have to just give you information. You have to take it, separate it, sort it, put it where you need it. I don't know your experience. Even if I put it in bullet points, you would sit back and say, those 5 bullet points, only one did something good for me. I'm just trying to give you all the information for you to take it. You have to sort it. You have to make note of it. You have to keep watching or rewatch. It doesn't matter how you get the information. Oh, well, we learned better. Did you learn better or did it just feel better? I don't know that we always learn better, right? We're supposed to post this way and that way, and that's what people like. It's just what people feel better doing, right? All these pictures on Instagram, these travel pictures, oh, I like it. Oh, that makes people take action. I just like the picture. It made me, I liked it better than the other one, but if I know the value, picture of somebody in Tahiti versus somebody who's giving me good information for my business, where do you think the value's at? I don't care about that like in Tahiti. I go back to somebody who's showing me something, somebody who's a mentor to me, somebody who I can peek into their life. I can take a peek into their lives and learn something from it. That's the value. Me double clicking doesn't mean anything. But that's why I do ask. I want your double click. I want to know that I'm helping you. I want to know that this is teaching you something. I do want you to like. It has to matter to you, right? I just told you. If I like the picture in Tahiti, but I never buy nothing, There's no relationship there. They're not helping my business, my family, my future, my mindset. They're showing me something I aspire. Maybe at that moment, that aspiration makes me go, whoa, that's why I want to work. That's why I want to make money. That's why I want to build a business. That's why I double click. Hopefully, you're going so deep into thought. Maybe these videos are so long that you do get to absorb it. And then you got to click off right away and go back to work. You just want to keep going because now you spent too much time on a video. So maybe you forget to click a like. Maybe you forget to hit the notifications here on the Mobile Notary Network. I'm still with you. I know you guys are there. I appreciate it. I try to be here for you. This mobile notary business is not easy. Rates are low. We're expecting some big boom, mini boom, whatever it is. I just call it stimulation. The whole time I've been a mobile notary, I've just been interested in stimulation. I say, are they going to stimulate real estate? And I've always had some form of faith to say, no, the federal government, they're gonna stimulate real estate. But they didn't. This last over a year, this is one of the longest stretches. They held back on stimulating real estate. Been a lot of people holding on by the skin of their teeth. Same thing, man. People are out there, it's busy, there's plenty of signings for everybody. Oh, Lord. Lord. Go tell that to the escrow officers who are just trying to stay in business. They're just trying to pay their rent. They're trying to keep their cars. Right? And the same thing. I'm supposed to tell you, buy the masterclass. Go be a millionaire. Yikes. Masterclass is affordable. It says, man, take a little lesson. Learn from somebody. Until the market comes back. As you build a clientele, as you take orders, there are notaries who have dropped out of the race. Every time there's a slowdown, you know what I know is going to happen? Some notaries or some notary agency won't be able to hang. They're going to tap out, go broke, get tired, say I'm done. Say all this effort that I've put into this business, I've got to go now. I sit back and say, I've said this many times over. This isn't the first slowdown, but this is the longest slowdown that we've ever gone through. As long as I've been in this business, and I think it's going on 12 years. 11, 12 years, I'm always back and forth because I don't really recap the exact dates. But this is the longest. It's the toughest. People will quit. People will tap out. You know what that means? That if you're trained, if you're prepared, if you're ready, you start to take their work. You start to, all of a sudden your phone's ringing. All of a sudden you're available midday, in the morning, on the weekends, at night. All of a sudden you have a commitment that you can offer. Because people will and do tap out. I'm grateful. I love business. I love helping. That's all I've ever done. It's always been the big frustrating factor. It's probably yours too. When you sit back and say, I just want to help. I just want to do. I just want to work. But let me tell you something real quick as I sign off. You do want to work, but you have to want to work so bad that you go ask for the work, that you email for the work, that you say thank you for the work, that you fill in the gaps, that you put the icing on the cake, that you create your workload, that you create your demand. It's up to you, nobody else. We want to get frustrated and say, why aren't they calling me? Why aren't they hiring me? Why are they picking someone else? What are you doing about that? Are you calling somebody? Saying, why aren't you using me? How can I help? How can I be of greater service? Please tell me, what can I do? I need the work. No, Steve, that's gonna make me sound desperate. I have a definition for desperate. It's okay to be desperate, as long as you see it as eagerly driven. It's okay to be desperate if you see it as you being eagerly driven. Are you eagerly driven? Say, yes, Steven, but I don't want to come off as, I don't care what you want to come off as. Take a deep breath, figure out what you can say, write down a little script, make a call, write an email, sound polite, sound professional. It's not going to be perfect, but if you keep writing these and calling these over and over again, your scripts get better. Your tone gets better, your pace gets better. You get better. As long as you work it, as long as you exercise anything, you're supposed to get better. But you are supposed to analyze it at the same time. It's the only way you do all this stuff and get better. You have to process information. All right, I'm gonna go now. I can go on for days. I'll go on for days on the next video. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, turn on notifications. Please like on Notary Professionals, which is on Instagram. Please like on Facebook, Notary Professionals of America. There's work to be done and I want to help you do it. I'm still doing it. I'm still learning about it. I'm still working it and I want to share. Thanks, everybody. Be good.